Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video I'm going to be showing you all the different tips and tricks to help you get prepared for playoffs round 3 that will be dropping in NBA Live Mobile Season 5 really soon. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video. Let's try and aim for 75 likes if we can, so make sure you smash that like button and comment down below which of the teams left to play do you think will make it through to round 2 of the playoffs. Now, I do just want to say the card art in the thumbnail, it isn't going to be definite. Those are going to be the players in the actual promo, and we will go on to some of the players that might go into the promo. But the card art on the thumbnail is just simply made by me. It's not official. Those aren't going to be the players that we are guaranteed to get. They could be, but yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's get into it. Okay, so one of the tips that I will definitely give you is make sure you're saving up on your playoff points. As you can see in round 2, they were a bit useful. You could spend them on packs to help you get some players so you could use them in the sets, or you could maybe buy this Jason Kidd over here, so he could be used in any of the sets, and that will help you out a lot. Now, this was similar for the playoffs round 1, so we can guess that it will be similar for round 3 or the conference finals, whichever one you want to call it. For that promo, it will be similar stuff. So make sure you're saving up on your playoff points. I'm no money spent and I have 40.4k playoff points. Now, I should be able to get maybe about 42k, maybe a little bit more by the end of the Lightning versus Thunder promo, because I got one more of the playoff points to claim on my way to getting Vince Carter. Let me know in the comments down below whether you managed to get him already. I know a lot of people, if you did exploit the trick that I did explain in one of my previous videos, then you should be able to get that Vince Carter. I'm nearly the way there because I haven't been grinding a ton. I've nearly got 45k playoff points out of the 60,000 you can hold. Make sure you're saving up on those playoff points, because those are going to be really useful going into round 3 of the playoffs and in that promo, especially because you will be able to buy some packs, hopefully, that you can get some players that will help you in the sets to getting some of those masters. But also, to get those playoff points, if you haven't already started trying to get them, what you want to do is, if you go into the playoffs round 2, it's going to be pretty easy. Literally, the first reward or the first milestone, you can get 500 playoff points, and then the third one is also 500 playoff points. Those are easy ways of getting playoff points, and that's it all the way from 500 all the way up to, I think, 5,000. As you can see there, that's the last playoff points one. 5,000 playoff points plus all the other ones you get before that. It's a ton of playoff points, but if you haven't been grinding that already, I recommend you at least get to maybe the first 3. I don't know whether you'll be able to before the actual round 3 promo drops. Get up to this 1,250. Maybe you do. Maybe you get a little bit further, get some extra playoff points, because the more you get, the better you will be prepared for round 3 of the playoffs promo. Another way you can get playoff points really quickly is if you go into limited time events and you go over to the Lightning versus Thunder promo. You can see on both sides, whether you pick Lightning or Thunder, you can see the milestones here. The first few give you a couple of playoff points. As you can see, the very first one gives you 2,500. Then as you keep scrolling, the last one gives you 5,000, and that's all you can get from both sides. So even if you just get the first reward here, 2,500, if you get them on both sides, that's an easy 5,000 playoff points right there. And we've had in round 1, like I said before, round 1 and round 2 both had packs you could buy with those playoff points, and so that's going to be guaranteed pretty much. Guaranteed that in round 3 we'll get a similar thing, where you can spend your playoff points to get some packs or get some players, like you have this Jason Kidd over here, that will be used in any of the sets. So if you saved up your points, make sure you've got them saved up so you can go into round 3, look at the promo. And what I do suggest is, when you get the promo, make sure you're subscribed, because I will be doing a breakdown on it. But then also make sure before you buy any of the packs, make sure you look at them, think about whether you actually need them with your playoff points, or whether you want to actually hold on to your playoff points and wait for the finals. Because in the finals, we will be probably getting some really high overall cards, and it's whether you want to miss out on that. So make sure you're making a decision for yourself, whether you want to spend the playoff points, depending on the masters we've got, spend the playoff points in round 3, or save them for round 4 for that finals stuff. So make sure you're making a decision which one you want to do. I'm going to definitely do a promo breakdown and explain how to get the masters when they do drop, so make sure you sub for that. And I will be telling you what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to save my playoff points or spend some of them. Make sure you're making that decision when we get into that playoffs round. Then another tip you could use going into round 3 is these masters in the sets. They are going to be upgraded a little bit further. We don't know exactly what overall they're going to get to. I've managed to do this. Basically, I picked LeBron James because I thought he'd get through. He didn't get through to round 2 of the playoffs. You can stick him in here, or whoever you pick that didn't make it to round 2. And if you stick them in here, you can claim the select pack. Now, instead of opening the select pack, what I did is I saved that on my bench. If you go over to my items on my bench, I've got all of these pick'ems which I've been doing, and as you can see, I've got that 86 overall select pack. Now these sets over here for the Playoff Masters, they are going to be available for 5 weeks and 20 hours. So that's the entirety of the Playoffs promo, plus a little bit more. So you should be able to upgrade them throughout. So what I suggest you do, if you haven't already done that set where you select the players, because you don't know whether they're guaranteed to go through. Like at the moment, if a lot of you pick KD, you don't know whether he's guaranteed to go through to the next round. Obviously, he's 3-2 to the Nets against the Bucks. Let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to win that matchup. It's going to be a difficult game there for both teams to come out on top. If the Nets win the next game, I think they've won that. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch. But also, you don't know exactly what teams are through. So at the moment, all we know for certain is that the Suns are through. They managed to get through pretty easily. They're sweeping the Nuggets, but that's it. All the other teams that are in there, they're still with a chance of going through at the moment. So you don't know which one of these players will go on to round 3, except for Devin Booker. If you picked him, let me know in the comments down below. But you don't know which one of these will go up to the next round and get upgraded further. So what I suggest you do, like I've done, I just put these players in a random set. It doesn't have to be in the KD set. I put them in a random set, so I make sure I've got these players saved up so that once we get to the finals, I pick the 86 overall master that did go through all the way to the finals. I pick the right one, then I can basically just save up on all these players and I can stick them in the future sets as well. So that's what I suggest you do, is when these new sets drop for the next round of players that do go on to the next round, so like the Devin Booker, he will probably get upgraded. We don't know exactly by how much, but if you look at it, he jumped from an 86 to a 90. He may go from a 90 to a 92, a 90 to a 93, a 90 to a 94. We don't know how far he will actually go, like when the next sets drop. But when the next sets drop, what you want to do is have all these players like I have saved up. Make sure you're saving them, buying them on the auction house, playing through the Lightning versus Thunder promo, because that does give you quite a few of them. Make sure you're saving up on those because you will going to need them to be able to upgrade the next set of masters. So that's going to be really useful going into round 3 of the playoffs. Another thing you can do is definitely save up on stamina, because as you can see in round 2 and round 1, there's of course events you have to play with your stamina. So make sure you're saving up on your stamina. Maybe save up some cash so you can spend it on the refills. Instead of having to wait here, you can spend it on the refills there. It costs 300 cash and you can get cash pretty easily just by going in your objectives, doing them. And cash will also help you if there's any cash offers in the store you want to buy. You can just buy them straight away because you will have the cash completely free. No money spent. That's going to be easy to do. Then another thing you can do to get stamina, just make sure you're playing through all your league stuff, because that does give you some stamina that it can then quick sell for actual stamina, so you can use it whenever you want to. Again, if you don't think the round 3 playoffs promo is as good, then you want to save it for the finals. You can do, as you can see, I've got a couple saved up. I can spend that when round 3 actually drops. Give me that head start so I can get into it and get started and get the extra masters as quick as I can. Those are quick, simple ways you can definitely get ahead. And now let's look at which different masters we think might be in the next round of the playoffs. So if we look at the bracket here that is in the NBA at the moment, you can see the Suns, they swept the Nuggets, and that means that they're guaranteed into round 3. That's it, they're through. The rest of the games, they're still going on. So let's focus on the Suns at the moment. Now Devin Booker, he at the moment has that player card here that you could upgrade. So I don't think he will be a master for the promo itself, but there is a slight if there, and that is, if you look at it, look at the promo comes out on Saturday, I think, and the game on Saturday is the Nets versus the Bucks. And that game, if the Nets win, then they go through to the next round and we might have some other masters there. But if the Bucks win, it goes through to another game and that just carries over and over. So that means that EA will have to basically pick some masters that are actually in the round 3 at the moment, or they maybe save up and wait a bit and maybe make some hidden masters there, because it is difficult for them because they have to wait until the games are done, then find cards that they want to make in the game, find masters they want to make, because at the moment all they can do is figure out which Suns players they want to make a master card for. And Devin Booker is an example that he could be one because he's been going nuts in the playoffs. But I mean, he's already got this card here which you can upgrade, so it's unlikely that he will be a card in the limited time events that you can get as a master card. Another player that you could have is Chris Paul. He's been doing well in the playoffs as well, but unfortunately due to COVID, I think now he's had restrictions, so he might not be playing for the Suns in the next round. So maybe they don't pick him for a master, but I think they might still pick Chris Paul as a master for the playoffs round 3, because he has been playing well and he hasn't had a master card in the game for a very long time. I don't think he hasn't had one, I think, at all this season. So he might be a shout as to be the round 3 playoff master. He's definitely a shout for that. Then looking at the other teams here, none of them are guaranteed to be through. So with the Nets, we've also got that KD card you can upgrade in the set, so I don't think he will be a master. We've already had Kyrie in round 2. He's the current master for round 2. We've also had James Harden, who's out now with injury, but he has come back as well. Same with Kyrie, he's out with injury, but KD was the master in round 1, so it can't be any of the big 3. If anything, it could be maybe Joe Harris. I know Jeff Green had a big game last time against the Bucks, so maybe he gets a card as well, because he hasn't had one in the game, but he isn't like a main star for the Nets at the moment. Obviously, you've got the big 3. Those are the main superstars on that team, so it's either 3 of those. But again, they've also had their cards in the game before as masters and exactly with this playoffs promo, so it's unlikely it's going to be those 3 as the masters. Then going on for the Bucks, if they manage to get through, we could have a Giannis card. The last time he was a master was when we had this Colossus promo. I've still got that card. He's a power forward. He is a pretty insane card there, giving out a boost, high fly boost. If you got a power lineup, he'd be great for you. Then looking at the playoff sets, but he is also one of those upgradable masters, so it depends on whether we get him as a promo master. We probably won't. There's also Chris Middleton, but he was the round 1 playoffs master, so that's where it gets a little bit complicated as to who they pick for the masters for that actual promo. Then as we keep going through, you look at the Hawks, you've got Trae Young there. He's playing really well at the moment, but again, he's one of these trade up players, so he might not be the master. I doubt it, because then we basically got 2 cards, exactly the same player. Maybe they switch up the game play style, the position, maybe some stuff like that, but it depends really what EA decide to do with it. As we keep going, then they're playing the 76ers. Again, we don't know who's going through. Now, Joel Embiid, he is a trade-up master, so he might not be one of the masters. As you can see, there is a trade-up master. But then also alongside him, you've got Ben Simmons. He might be a master if they do go through to round 3. Who knows? We might get another power forward card who's absolutely insane, because the last time he was a master, we had, I think it was Golden Week, he was the master for that one, or one of the masters in that. Then looking at the Jazz versus the Clippers, we've got the Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, but he is, again, one of these trade-up masters, so he may be unlikely to be one of that. You got Joe Ingles, but he was with the Summer Splash promo. He was in that one, so it might not be him. I'm trying to think who else is on the Jazz team right now. You could also have Rudy Gobert up there. He did win Defensive Player of the Year, so maybe they decide to do him as a master, have a nice center in the game. Depending on whether that's power, strategic, or a finesse, he could be a potential master that we could have in round 3, if they go through to round 3, that is. And then you've also got the Clippers. Now, you could have Kawhi Leonard. He is a potential candidate to be a master, but he is, I think, one of the trade-up masters again, like we got here. But then also we could have that Paul George, but again, he was the master in round 1. I think I've got him still on my lineup. As you can see there, he was a master in round 1, so it's unlikely to be those 2. So it's going to be difficult for EA to decide who's going to be the master. Again, let me know in the comments down below who you think might be the potential masters going into that round 3 or the conference finals, however you want to put it, for that promo. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. If you did enjoy the video, like I said, make sure you leave a like on it, because it does help it out. Again, let's try and aim for 75 likes if we can. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and make sure you turn on those notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.